It was an accident, Dad insisted as I sobbed. But when the waste management company pulled their truck's GAPES data, it showed my stepmother made 3 trips to different dumpsters. The officer's next words made her collapse. "We also found this in her car," Officer Martinez said, holding up an evidence bag containing my mother's sapphire ring, the one that was supposed to be mixed with her ashes, along with detailed internet searches about how to destroy human remains and forging cremation documents. "Ma'am, this wasn't just desecration. This was an elaborate crime. My name is Amber, and 48 hours ago, I thought I'd lost the last physical remnant of my mother forever. What I discovered instead was a web of lies so twisted that even now, sitting in this police station, I can barely comprehend its scope. It started 3 days ago when I came home from my business trip early. I'd been in Seattle closing a major deal, but something, call it intuition, made me catch an earlier flight. Maybe it was because the next day was Mom's birthday. She would have been 58. I let myself into Dad's house quietly, not wanting to wake anyone at 6 a.m. The first thing I noticed was that Mom's urn wasn't on the mantel where it had sat for the past 3 years. My heart dropped. "Dad?" I called out, trying to stay calm. "Where's Mom?" My stepmother Carolyn appeared at the top of the stairs in her silk robe, her face a mask of false concern. "Oh, Amber, you're back early. Your father's at his morning golf game." "Where's Mom's urn, Carolyn?" Something flickered across her face. Was it panic? Before she composed herself. "Oh, honey, there was an accident. I was deep cleaning yesterday and knocked it over. The urn broke and the ashes, they went everywhere. I had to vacuum them up." "You vacuumed my mother?" My voice came out as a shriek. "I tried to save them, but they were mixed with dust and glass. I'm so sorry. I was going to tell you when you got back. Where are they now?" I demanded, already knowing the answer I dreaded. I threw the vacuum bag away. The garbage truck came this morning. I sank to my knees on the hardwood floor. Mom's ashes, the last physical piece of her, were in a landfill somewhere. Gone forever because Carolyn couldn't be bothered to be careful. That's when Dad walked in, still in his golf clothes. "What's all the shouting about?" Through my tears, I explained. Dad's face went through several expressions before settling on defensive irritation. "It was an accident," he insisted as I sobbed. "Carolyn feels terrible about it. You need to move on already, Amber. Your mother's been gone for 3 years. It's not healthy to cling to ashes." Not healthy. I stood up, rage replacing grief. Those ashes were all I had left. "They were just ashes," Dad said coldly. "Your mother is gone. Carolyn is my wife now. This is her home too." I looked between them, Dad in his expensive golf attire, Carolyn with her perfectly manicured nails and fake sympathy. Something wasn't right. "Show me the broken urn," I said suddenly. Carolyn blinked. "What?" "The urn. You said it broke. Where are the pieces?" I threw them away too. They were sharp. "In the same bag as the ashes." "Yes." I pulled out my phone. What time did the garbage truck come? "Around 5:30, Carolyn said quickly, too quickly. "Funny. Mrs. Henderson next door texted me at 7 asking if everything was okay because she saw you making multiple trips to your car with bags at 3 a.m. Carolyn's face went white. Dad stepped forward. "Now hold on, Amber. You're upset, but don't start making accusations." "I'm calling the police," I said, already dialing. "For an accident?" Dad grabbed for my phone, but I stepped back. "For theft and desecration of human remains. Because this wasn't an accident." The first officer to arrive was sympathetic but skeptical until I showed him the text from Mrs. Henderson. Then I remembered something. The urn was distinctive. I told him. Hand-blown glass with gold leaf. If it broke, there would be very specific debris. "Can you check if the garbage was really picked up?" Officer Martinez made some calls. 20 minutes later, he had answers that changed everything. "The garbage truck hasn't been through this neighborhood yet today. It's scheduled for this afternoon. Your stepmother lied about that." Carolyn tried to maintain her story. I must have been confused about the day. "Ma'am," Officer Martinez interrupted, "we need to check your vehicle." In Carolyn's BMW, they found damning evidence. 3 garbage bags in the trunk, GPS history showing trips to 3 different commercial dumpsters across town at 3:17 a.m., 3:42 a.m., and 4:05 a.m. But the bags didn't contain Mom's ashes. They contained clothes. Mom's clothes that I'd kept in storage boxes in the basement, photo albums, her jewelry, years of memories Carolyn had decided to erase. "Where are the ashes?" I demanded. Carolyn's lawyer mask finally cracked. "I don't know what you're talking about." "We have your GPS data," Officer Martinez said. "We know you made 3 trips. We can check every dumpster. Why don't you save us all time?" That's when they found Mom's ring in the glove compartment, the sapphire ring that was supposed to be with her ashes, that Dad had specifically requested be cremated with her. The ring Carolyn was apparently planning to keep. "This changes things," Officer Martinez said. "This is theft, and depending on what happened to those ashes, potentially a felony." The investigation that followed revealed the horrifying truth. Security footage from the first dumpster showed Carolyn throwing in bags of Mom's belongings. The second dumpster behind a medical building revealed something worse. She'd thrown the ashes in a medical waste container, knowing they'd be incinerated again, completely destroyed. But it was the third location that exposed the full scope of her plan. The GPS led to a storage unit across town. Inside, police found boxes of Mom's things that Carolyn had been slowly stealing from our family storage, valuable items she was apparently planning to sell. They also found something that made my blood run cold. A folder full of documents. Forged papers claiming Mom had left certain items to Carolyn. A fake will. Medical directives with forged signatures. And most disturbing, applications for death certificates with different dates, as if she'd been practicing. "Your stepmother has been planning this for months," Detective Janet Sullivan explained after taking over the case. "These documents, she wasn't just trying to get rid of your mother's ashes. She was trying to rewrite history, make it seem like she had claims to your mother's estate." "But Mom's estate was settled 3 years ago," I said, confused. "You mentioned your mother had a life insurance policy that pays out in installments?" My heart sank. "Yes. I receive annual payments for the next 7 years." These documents would have given Carolyn claim to those payments. She was building a case that your mother considered her a daughter, left her things. With the physical evidence destroyed, ashes, clothes, photos, it would be harder to dispute. I thought about all the times Carolyn had asked about Mom's insurance, feigning casual interest. The way she'd volunteered to help organize family photos, only for boxes to go missing. Her sudden interest in Mom's jewelry that she claimed Dad had promised her. "She's been systematically erasing my mother," I whispered. Detective Sullivan nodded grimly, while preparing to steal her identity and assets. When they arrested Carolyn, she tried one last manipulation. "Harold," she cried to my father. Tell them how Amber's been unstable since her mother died. How she's obsessed, living in the past." Dad stood there, finally seeing the woman he'd marry for who she really was. The evidence was overwhelming. The GPS data, the security footage, the forged documents, the stolen property. "You told me the ashes were an accident," he said slowly. "You cried about how bad you felt." "I was protecting you," Carolyn screamed as they cuffed her. "From her," she pointed at me. "She's poisoned you against me from the start. Made you feel guilty about moving on." "You threw my wife's ashes in medical waste," Dad said, his voice hollow. "You stole her things. You tried to steal from my daughter." The full truth came out during the investigation. Carolyn had a history, 2 previous marriages where family heirlooms went missing, where important documents were accidentally destroyed. She was a professional predator who targeted widowers, gradually erasing the former wives and enriching herself. She'd studied our family for months before meeting Dad at his grief support group. She knew about Mom's insurance, about the family property Mom had left me, about the valuable jewelry Mom had inherited from her grandmother. Every sympathetic conversation, every offer to help organize, every gentle suggestion that I was too attached to Mom's things, all calculated. But she'd made one crucial mistake. She underestimated the bonds between neighbors. Mrs. Henderson, who'd known Mom for 20 years, who'd held me when I cried at the funeral, who still brought flowers to Mom's grave every month. She'd been watching. When she saw Carolyn sneaking around at 3 a.m., she knew something was wrong. "Your mother was my dear friend," Mrs. Henderson told me later. "When I saw that woman loading bags in the dark, I knew. I just knew." The ashes were recovered from the medical waste facility just hours before they would have been destroyed forever. Mom's urn hadn't been broken. Carolyn had hidden it in the storage unit, probably planning to sell it. We had a small ceremony to return Mom's ashes to their rightful place, this time in a locked cabinet in my home. Carolyn was charged with grand theft, forgery, fraud, and desecration of human remains. The prosecutor, reviewing her history, pushed for the maximum sentence. This wasn't a crime of passion or a moment of anger, she argued. This was a calculated campaign to erase one woman's existence while stealing her legacy. During the trial, more victims came forward. The widow of her first husband testified about missing war medals that mysteriously appeared in online auctions. The daughter of her second husband spoke about family photos that vanished, inheritance documents that were lost. She doesn't just steal things, one victim said. She steals memories, histories, connections. She tries to make it like the first wife never existed. Carolyn was sentenced to 12 years. As they led her away, she maintained her innocence, claiming we'd all conspired against her because we couldn't accept Dad moving on. Dad and I have a long road ahead. He's in therapy, processing how he enabled Carolyn's abuse, how his grief made him vulnerable to her manipulation. He's asked for my forgiveness more times than I can count. I wanted so badly to believe I could be happy again, he told me. I let that blind me to what she was doing to you, to your mother's memory. Mom would want you to be happy, I assured him. Just, with someone who doesn't try to erase her existence. We've started a new tradition. Every year on Mom's birthday, we go through her photos together, tell stories, remember. The things Carolyn tried to destroy, we celebrate. The memories she tried to steal, we share. I keep Mom's urn in my home now, in a place of honor, but behind locked glass. Her sapphire ring sits beside it, catching the light. Sometimes I talk to her, tell her about the woman who tried to make her disappear. She didn't know you, Mom, I whisper. She didn't know that you're not just in those ashes or those things. You're in my laugh, in my stubborn streak, in the way I make your famous lasagna. You're in every sunrise I watch because you taught me to appreciate beauty. She could throw away ashes, but she could never throw away you. The GPS data that exposed Carolyn's crime has been framed in my office, a strange memento, but a reminder that truth has a way of surfacing. 3 trips to 3 dumpsters, each one logged and tracked, each one a nail in her coffin. Technology caught her. Mrs. Henderson's vigilance exposed her, but it was love, my love for my mother, my refusal to let her be erased, that stopped her. Carolyn thought ashes were just dust, easily disposed of, quickly forgotten. She was wrong. Those ashes were my mother's final physical form, and protecting them was my final act of daughterly love. She's back where she belongs now, safe and honored, a testament to the truth that love is stronger than those who try to destroy it. Some things can't be thrown away, no matter how many dumpsters you visit at 3 a.m. Memory, love, truth, these endure, rising from whatever ashes remain.